Alright, I released a video about the Boss GT1000 core and talking about the things that I like about the unit. In this video, I'm going to talk about the opposite. So the things that I don't like about the unit. So I'm not saying that I don't like the GT1000 core anymore. I still do. So I'm still going to use this unit. I still like the unit overall. You know, regardless of what unit you're gonna get, whether it's a quad cortex or line 6 helix or a fractal unit, there's always gonna be like pros and cons. So some things or some brands are gonna be better at certain things than others. So it really depends. But I'm a Boss guy, like I've said. I've used the Boss GT8, GT1, the MS3, and I have a couple of 200 series Boss pedals. So I'm very much familiar of the Boss ecosystem and their user interface. So I'm confident to talk about these things that I don't like too much based on my experience. So these things, I think they're not an upgrade for me. Well, even though that the Bosch GT1000 core is like the newest model today. So let's start with the first thing, the output select settings. So you'd think by Boss giving us more options, it's better. It's a very classic case of more isn't better and less is more. So let's go into the menu here so that you know what I'm talking about. So go to menu, then in out settings, then output, and the output select settings. Now you can see there's a ton of options there to select. So what this means is, depending on what kind of amplifier or speaker that you're connecting the GT1000 core to, you can select the appropriate setting to suit that device or amplifier. At first, when I knew about this, I thought that that's really cool. There's a lot of options, but when I finally got the unit and I tried it out, it turns out to be too much and it's overwhelming. Unless you have the same amp that's in the output select settings, it's gonna take you a while to really, select the appropriate setting. I found that when you're changing from different patches, you have like a different amp for one patch and another amp, let's say a high gain and a low gain amp. So for example, I have a high gain amp here. And choosing from a low gain amp, I find that the volume levels of those amps will vary depending on what kind of output select settings you've chosen. And that is kind of weird because in the Boss GT8 and the GT1 there's only a few settings that you can choose from, and it took away all that paralysis by analysis that you get from having too many options. So what I found though, so in each of these things that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to provide like a solution because I don't want to just talk about problems because I still love the unit anyway. So I'm going to provide workarounds and solutions. So what I found with this is if you're not sure, let's say you have a Laney or a Marshall amp that's not in the output select settings, what I found is the JC120 amp output input seems to be the best and well balanced, and I didn't find that drastic change between changing between different patches. You always have to spend time, regardless of what device you're using. You always have to spend time with the unit to get to know it so that you can use it better. So what I found from experimenting with this device, that the JC120 works really well for any kind of amp that you're gonna use. It's the most well balanced, and there's no like changes in volume, in my experience. So let me know what you found. So the second thing that I don't like too much about the Boss GT1000 core is the visual interface or the diagram wherein you edit your effects. Specifically when you want to try to use a stereo rig. So I learned this from a YouTuber named Dave Webb. He showed that to be able to have a stereo setup, meaning you have a different IR or cabinet simulation on the left side and the right side, and the way you do that is to get the divider block here, switch to dual, and the mixer block you switch to pan left right. Then you can go to the stereo or the output speaker simulation and select the stereo link to off. Then now you have a separate speaker cabinet, a block for the left and the right. So you can take that out there. And you can see now you can select the different speakers. So they're currently in original. So I can choose a different speaker type. For the right, that's a 2x12, and I can select a different speaker for the left. So you can have a stereo rig that way, and you can see how confusing that is. It's only one line, and it would be better if like a better visual for the user to have like a separate lines for the left and right, so it would be easier to understand. So that's the second thing. Right. The third thing that I don't like too much about the GT1000 core is too many high gain amps. So if you select here, I was happy that there was like new amps like the X, the Supreme, Maximum. Supreme, you have a Juggernaut. You have the X high gain. You have the X modded, X Ultra, X Optima, and I don't know with you guys, but they are in the same range of type of amp, like a high gain scooped sounding amp. And the I don't know if it's my age, but recently I've been transitioning to a much more mid-focused high. Even though I play metal and rock, I still prefer that mid humped kind of tone, even if it's distorted. So interestingly enough, I find the X Crunch to be that tone, this tone. I mean, you can still chug with this. You can add a distortion block there, and you can increase the gain. If you want more gain, you can add an overdrive effect. So I found that that's my preferred tone, and it's only one tone or one amp type there. That's that kind of sound. I think there's also a boutique, but it's not. Yeah, I think that works as well. It's not that scoop sound like this. I mean, that sound is still good. It's good. It's still good to hear. It's good to play with. But in terms of tone, the shape of the tone, I prefer the X Crunch, and it's just kind of sad that it's only one X Crunch that has that kind of sound. The fourth thing is also regarding amps, the inconsistent volume as well. So I'm not sure why this is, but let's take a look at the amps. So I'm currently in the match setting, and here is the British stack. But when you go to like the BG combo, the volume drops drastically, and also the orange and the Bogner Uberschall, they're not on the same volume, even though I didn't touch the volume or the level. But and I don't know why that is. Why not? Some amps are louder, some amps are softer. Why not just have them at the same level? And they're modeled after different amps anyway, so they'll have different characteristics. So it's just kind of an inconvenience to select a different amp and have to adjust the volume every single time you switch to that amp. So that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing is regarding the app. So I'm not complaining about having an app. Well, once again, I used to use the Boss GT8, and it had a smaller screen and no app. So this time around, there's an app, but I can compare it with my experience from the Boss GT1 and the MS3. Now, in the GT1 and the MS3 apps, you can type in a letter. Let's say you have a long list of effects and you're searching for a flanger. Then you just type the letter F, and it will snap to that those effects in letter F, starting with the letter F. So you'll find the specific effect that you're looking for by doing that. But in the Boss GT1000 app, the Boss Tone Studio for the GT1000 core, you can't do that. And it's a good thing that the unit has a lot of effects in a very compact size, but having to scroll over a lot of different effects can take a lot of time. And I'm not sure why they didn't put that feature when you just press like an S so that you can go to a sound hold effect, or E to go to the EQ effect. It would be easier for the users that way, and not have to scroll to a long list of different effects. So anyway, those are my 5 things that I don't like so much about the unit. Once again, I'm not saying that I don't like the unit anymore. I still like it. The functionality, the flexibility, you can add pedals to it, the controllability and the power that you can do. You can have 24 blocks, 16 assigns to use in each patch. So that's a lot of control, a lot of fun to have with this unit in a very compact size. And the sound is also good. So not complaining. I'm just sharing to you my thoughts and experiences with the unit. The things that I shared are not really things that are bad for the unit. It's just things in my experience that could have been better, or not so much of an upgrade in terms of how I experienced the older models. I still love the Boss GT1000 core. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you think about the Boss GT1000 core, and if you have things to add, or workarounds for the things that I mentioned. So just post them down below. So that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching.